Okay, so I'm being guided to, I guess, reflect on my day. Today's March 3rd. It's the 3-3 portal. You know, in the spiritual community, numbers and days are meaningful. But something that um, I guess I was guided to press play, and this is really off the cuff. I have no clue what this is going to become, or if anybody don't even hear this. I don't know. But basically, I woke up this morning in a lot of pain. I have a condition that causes me to have flare ups, and nerves just can set off and feel like a ping pong machine, just shooting throughout my body. And I'm not gonna lie and say it came out of nowhere, because it did come. I started to feel it rise within me yesterday at the gym. It was supposed to be leg day, and I felt my legs, and I was just like, nah, I can't do any leg like workouts today. So I switched it to upper body and back and arms, and I felt so strong yesterday. Like, even though I felt like I was like my energy was becoming depleted, and my nerves were starting to, do what they do at times. Like, the strength I felt in, like, just lifting those weights. And I was even hitting, like, doing some PRs on certain, like, weights that I was like, or like, um, I guess sets that I was doing. I'm like, oh, this is a new weight, like, new weight level. And but if I would have tried to do anything with my legs, it wouldn't have worked out. I would have given out. And so it's just interesting to have that whole like dichotomy within my own body. Like, one part of my body is at its strongest, while the other part is not yet at its weakest, but it's fastly approaching towards its weakness. Um, the duality of life, the duality of ourselves. Like, we can be strong in one area and weak in another. Um, but both parts of us need that rest. Both parts of us need that acknowledgement, need to be cared for. Um, so I got up this morning. Well, when I went to bed last night, honestly, I didn't feel like I was not going to go to work today. Like, I really didn't. It didn't cross my mind at all. Like, I came home, I did what I needed to do. I went to bed. I woke up this morning and I couldn't get out of bed. I just couldn't bring myself out of the bed. Like, the alarms are just going off left and right. I'm hitting snooze. I'm like, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get up. I couldn't get up. And then I reached out to my boss and to my assistant teacher, letting her know, like, I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna be an hour late, but I'm coming. And still, like, time was passing, and I'm like, I still cannot get out of this bed. So then I realized, like, you know what, Brenda, you just need to go on and call it a day. Um, and in the past, and when I say past, I would say last year and the years prior, um, when I would feel this way, I would have went to work anyways. I would have pushed through. I would have, like, forced myself to push myself beyond the limit that my body was telling me I was at. Like, my cup is completely empty and still trying to pour from it type of push through. And all it would have done which would have been me moving into a full blown burnout, full blown flare up, to where mm, what happens with my body if I push myself too far in moments like this in episodes like this, I could literally stop being able to walk, not be able to drive, not even be able to turn my head, my neck. Like, um, and I hate when I'm at that point in my body, because it takes a lot of work for me to do just a little something small, a small task, like something simple, putting on a jacket. It it takes a lot out of me to just do that. Um, yeah, and in the past, I would push myself to that point, and then it would take me days to recover. Like I can't go to work, can't drive, can't do anything, barely even, eat, let alone cook. Um, so I'm thankful that in these years of learning myself, listening to my body, and being honest with myself, seeing myself in all of me, all the parts of me, and being able to say it's okay. Not today, but you know, better days will come. And letting myself feel free to say no to the societal norms, the expectations, the professional norms and expectations of my life and my career, and prioritizing my health, prioritizing my body and what my body is telling me it needs in this moment, in the present day, and not fearing the not fearing the effect of my absence, of my resistance to the societal norm that tells me to hustle, to press forth, to continue to work, to press on, even though I am caving under the pressure of my own nervous system. like, and instead just listening and saying, like, no, I am enough to say no. It just, what just came in my head is a virtue that my school, we have virtues that we honor and teach the children. And several months back, I was teaching and helping the kids understand the virtue of temperance and the definition that we give the children, or the children of my age group, is saying no to say yes. And I'm just, I guess right now I'm making the connection, and like something that I taught a while back, and I still, something that I bring up to the children. Another way of saying it is like self-control, but to saying no to things so that you can say yes later. Me saying no this morning, no to work, no to the expectation to be at a certain place at a certain time in a certain way, being cheerful and bright and excited to spend time or to help my kids learn and grow, and meet all these meetings and quotas, and got report cards due and all this and that, and stay on it and be at the top of my game when my body is telling me to stay in bed. My body is saying I cannot do this today. And saying and honoring what it is that my body is saying, and not waiting until my body screams in order for me to listen. Long time ago, I heard, it left me. I'm gonna butcher it, so I'm gonna paraphrase it. Basically, your body whispers before it screams, and it's up to us to be able to discern what our body is saying when it whispers, so that we are not having to calm our bodies down as it screams. It just makes me think of several children in my classroom. I have these last few years of my teaching career has had me have a very neurodiverse um, classroom, probably because I am neurodiverse. As I'm coming to terms with it myself, for myself. Um, but one of the things that I have learned is to never meet the children where they are. Allow the children to meet you where you are. And if they are escalating, you don't want to match their energy. You want them to come down and become more regulated and become more grounded and more calm. So you have to be that, and you have to model that, and you have to maintain it and persist in that energy so that they eventually will come and meet you where you are. Or else you can become, it can just be an elevator of an escalation, basically an elevator of chaos, where they go high, you go high, then it's just keep going up and up and up. But when you give yourself the opportunity to really listen and see, like, man, they're screaming in this moment. This is not the time for me to try to calm them down by saying this or saying that. No, I just need to give them the space until they calm down. And then when they're calm, I can now be able to reason with them. I can't reason with a child who's having a tantrum. I can't reason with an adult who's upset and irate. No, I can only give them the space they need so that they can breathe, and give them the opportunity to have that breath and share in that breath with them so that we both can be regulated and remain regulated. Um, Likewise with our bodies. If I'm not careful, my body can be screaming, and there's no form of reasoning that my mind can do that's going to calm my body down once it gets to a point of no return. Once it's reached its max capacity, and then you push your body over the ledge of that max capacity. That's not the time for reason. That's the time for space. It's a time for rest. That's a time for breathing into life, into a body that's shouting and starving and craving something that it has been deprived of. And I've been in this season of life for a while now where I don't want to wait until my body gets to the point so deprived that it's yelling and hollering at me. And all I can do is just wait days and days until it calms down so that I can eventually get to the root of what caused it to become so I don't know, high strung. I don't even know what word I can put in that in this moment right now. Um, but I've been in a place of trying to recognize the small whispers that my body gives me. The whispers of, hey, maybe let's not do that workout. Or, hey, maybe you shouldn't go to this place right now. Or, hey, maybe it's time to just rest. And not fearing the consequences that others may impose on my choice to listen to my body. Yeah, I may, I don't even know if I got enough sick days. We'll see. We'll find out. I might get a pay deduction for this, like for not coming in today, especially because I didn't say it by whatever. I ain't even gonna go in on that. Whatever. It doesn't matter to me, because money does not control my body. A job does not control my body. Money flows to me with ease. And I know that it doesn't matter how much money thrown at me or taken from me. My body is my vessel, my temple, and I have to treat it and honor it with the respect and the love that I claim I have for it. Yeah, I missed a day of helping kids learn and grow, but I know the type of work that I do and the way that I teach and the method in which the the school runs and the on the philosophies and the methodology that we teach through. My children, they were learning on their own. They don't need a teacher most days. Like, they really don't. They teach each other. They learn by observation, and then they just do it. And that's one of the beautiful things about the work that I do. Um, and knowing that I can step back and it'll be okay. I can not show up. I can be absent and it'll be okay. And no matter what field of work that I'll be in moving forward in this life, I know that my priority is to me and my body and my mind, my spirit, my soul. And if I am depleted in any of those areas, it is on me to replenish what has been depleted. No one else outside of me will be able to do that to the level in which I can. Not to say that I don't need anybody, because being self-sufficient does not mean that I am better in isolation and in solitude in all ways, in all times. But the reality is, I know that I got me, and that one day people going to that also know that they got themselves. They'll be able to get me in ways that will be aligned. But the reality is, and what is true for every person in this world, the best person to fill your cup is yourself. And even through the pain that I'm feeling right now, I was still able to get up and cook. And I am so proud of myself because the meal was good. It was good. Okay, it is good. Um, from scratch too, you know. Um, and as I was cooking, I was realizing, like, oh my goodness, I'm healing my body as I move. And I'm not making big movements like I would on any, a normal day. If this was a normal day, I would have been at work. I would have left work, went to the gym, would have worked out, and went in, came home, probably cooked it a little bit, maybe not, chill, crashed out, went to sleep, wake up, do it again. It was simple movements, chopping, stirring, mixing, and that helped me. My cup isn't completely full. I'm still in pain. But I am seeing that as I move, as I choose to listen to my body and what my body is telling me to do in every moment, I am healing my nervous system. I am healing my muscles. I'm healing my bones and my veins. And I'm saying yes to the part of me that is so essential, that is sacred. And in me saying yes to those parts, I gotta say no to some things. And my no today was to my job. My no was to my profession. My no was also to something I love to do, working out. And it's okay to say no to the things that you also love in order to say yes to the thing that you hold dear and sacred to your heart. Two things can be true. I can love all parts of my day and still say no to the things that I don't have the capacity for. I did not have the capacity to be with all those children today. I really didn't. And honestly, when we push ourselves beyond our capacity to put ourselves in the front and center, or put ourselves in the spaces that we would typically be okay operating and functioning in, when our bodies, our mind, our spirit doesn't have the capacity anymore in that moment to be in those spaces, we are actually doing a disservice to those spaces. If I would have went to work today and been around those children, I can't say if I would have been the most loving teacher or the most welcoming teacher, because my body is hurting. And my children, they love hugs. They love just coming up, in moments they'll just come up and just rest their head on me. But if I would have, in most days, I'm fine with that. Even though physical touch is not always one of the things, I'm like, all right, get off me sometimes. Like, I need a break. And they know to ask me for, they also like, can I get a hug? Or can I hug you? They'll, I have children that are very empathetic and empathic. I mean, um, but most days I would be okay in like giving them hugs, or them coming up to me as I'm working with another child, and resting their head on my shoulder as I, teaching a lesson or whatever. But if that would have happened today, if I would push through and still went, I wouldn't have had the capacity for the love that they needed. I wouldn't have much to give them. I could have been more annoyed and more short with the children, or not as easily able to de-escalate situations or moments with children that are showing they are not regulated, or cannot fully regulate themselves in the moment. I might not have had enough capacity to help them regulate, because my body is not regulated. I haven't done the work to regulate my own self. And so I guess me having this, I wouldn't say an epiphany, it's reflection. Just honoring the fact that in order for me to be my full authentic self, in order for any of us to be our full authentic selves, um, we have to listen to ourselves, listen to all parts of ourselves, and stop walking away or suppressing those whispers, because those whispers will grow louder to screams. And by then, it's going to be very hard to truly get to the root of the problem when all you hear is pain, all you feel is pain. I don't know how to end this. I don't even know if I'm gonna post this. I don't know. This is kind of vulnerable. We're gonna see. But I'm thankful that I chose me. Um, I guess maybe I will post this. Oh, I'm cringing just thinking about posting this. Um, Another thing that made me realize, and it's happening right now, my body was whispering. I will honestly, my body was whispering a week ago. It was whispering. I'm not gonna say how, but I'm realizing it. It was whispering a week ago, and I didn't even hear it as what it was until now. But it ain't screaming. It's like a loud shout at me a little bit. My body is like, me a little short with me, a little snippy, a little snappy, I guess. But it ain't screaming. It ain't screaming. So that's progress. That's growth, you know. Um, but yeah, when I named my page, my channel, The Chosen Life, this was years ago. I knew that there's going to be moments within my life that I'll post that won't be the most well polished, put together, and happy parts, you know. And it's not always, it doesn't feel good to share your life when your life is inflamed. That's literally how I feel. Not my life, my body in this sense. It's also one of those things of like, I'm very big on privacy. I'm very big on privacy. But I also know that, or I feel like in some ways, the life I've lived is not just so that I can look back on it and say and see how I've endured and how I've been resilient or how I have grown and developed and evolved. It's not just for me. I have lived so many different life trials and experiences that if people were to really know my story, all of it, all of it, I don't even think people would believe the things I've endured or experienced or witnessed. Um, and so I'm saying that to say I know that my life is meant to be shared with others, not just so that I can be known, but for others to be known or felt through the life and the lived experience that I've had, to feel seen because they are able to see someone else experience something similar that they are currently going through. And as scary as that sounds, or not scary, as beautiful as that sounds, it feels scary because it's like, man, I like my privacy. I don't need it. I don't want everybody knowing what I got going on, when they going on through it. You feel me? Like, I'll tell y'all later. But I'm in a new season where I'm not afraid of what people may think of my life. I'm more afraid of what could happen if I don't share it. I'm more afraid of going against what my spirit tells me to do, because I've seen what happens when I go against what my spirit tells me to do through the lived experiences that I have endured. So moving forward, it's like I'm going to do what my spirit tells me to do, and I know I'm protected in doing so. I'm divinely protected. So hopefully this is helpful to somebody.